Have you ever noticed how some men who live alone don't seem lonely at all? They're calm, composed, even focused, almost as if they've discovered something the rest of the world simply can't understand. They don't chase, they don't beg, they don't fill their lives with noise, and yet there's something about them that feels dangerous. Because a man who learns to live alone becomes a man society can no longer control. People call him cold, detached. But Carl Jung would say he's something else entirely. He's a man who has met his own soul. And once you meet your soul, you can never unsee the truth again. Jung believed that solitude is not isolation, it's transformation. But here's the shocking part. The man who runs from loneliness never becomes a man at all. He remains a boy, chasing warmth, comfort, validation, terrified of silence. Because in silence, the truth of who he is begins to speak. This isn't another surface-level talk about independence. This is about what truly happens inside a man's mind when he lives alone. By the end of this video, you won't just understand solitude. You'll respect it, and maybe you'll even crave it. It begins quietly. You stop hearing other voices. You start hearing your own. No messages, no affection. No one asking how your day was. At first it feels empty, but then it becomes uncomfortable. Because when the noise fades, your shadow starts to whisper. Jung called the shadow the part of the psyche that hides everything you refuse to face. Your guilt, your envy, your fears, your shame. And when you live alone, there's nowhere to hide from it. You eat breakfast with it. You lie awake with it. You face it in the mirror. Most men run from that confrontation. They fill their lives with entertainment, women, and work. But the few who stay, the few who endure that silence, discover something powerful. The shadow is not your enemy. It is your guide. It shows you everything you must confront in order to grow. It tears away the illusion. And that's the moment a man begins to wake up. Jung once wrote, "The man who looks outside dreams. The man who looks inside awakens." And that brings us to the first truth. Truth 1, solitude is the gateway to power. When you live without a woman, you lose your mirror. No one's there to blame for your moods, your failure, your restlessness. You either build yourself or you collapse. And in that collapse, something deeper is built. You start to see your patterns, the excuses, the weaknesses, the distractions. You start to face the part of you that always looked for comfort instead of challenge. And when you master that, when you no longer need someone to stabilize you, you become unshakable. Because a man who rules himself cannot be ruled by anyone else. But here's what most people miss. When you live alone long enough, your thoughts start to sharpen. Your senses grow clearer. You begin to notice the weight of every choice, every distraction, every lie you told yourself just to survive. You stop numbing. You start creating. The same solitude that once terrified you becomes your weapon. Because solitude doesn't make you weaker. It strips away what's fake until only truth remains. Here is truth 2. A man without inner meaning uses women to escape himself. Most men don't seek love, they seek anesthesia. They use affection to numb their emptiness. They mistake distraction for connection. And when she leaves, they don't miss her, they miss the silence she kept away. Jung warned that a man who loses his soul to win approval is the greatest tragedy. And that's what most relationships are. Two unconscious people escaping themselves through each other. And a man who cannot be alone doesn't need a partner, he needs therapy. He's still outsourcing his identity. He's still terrified of meeting himself. That's why so many men crumble when they're left alone. Because solitude doesn't destroy them. It simply shows them what was never real to begin with. If you can't find peace alone, you'll never find it with anyone else. Because if you build your peace on someone else's presence, you hand them the power to destroy it. And when that peace is gone, you'll realize you were never in love. You were just avoiding yourself. And the last one, here is truth 3. The man who embraces solitude becomes feared because he can't be controlled. Society is built on dependency. Men are kept docile by their need for approval, through women, through work, through attention. But once you've lived long enough without needing any of it, something inside you breaks free. You stop apologizing for your nature. You stop pretending to be smaller to make others comfortable. You stop asking permission to be yourself. And that's when the world begins to fear you. Because a man who needs nothing cannot be bought. He cannot be blackmailed. He cannot be seduced by false promises. Jung called this process individuation, the integration of your light and your shadow into one whole being. The man who reaches this stage doesn't reject the feminine. He honors it, but he no longer depends on it. He becomes complete within himself. And that is the birth of true masculinity. You will notice it in his eyes. They no longer beg, they pierce. You will notice it in his silence. It no longer hides fear, it commands respect. He doesn't walk faster to impress anyone. He doesn't talk louder to prove a point. He simply exists, and the world rearranges itself around his presence. Now let's bring this down to you. When was the last time you were truly alone? Like, no phone, no music, no distractions, just you. If the thought of that makes you uneasy, fine, here we are. That's where your work begins. Here's a challenge. Spend 1 hour every day for the next week in complete silence. No scrolling, no talking, no escaping. At first you'll feel bored, then restless. Then something strange will happen. You'll start to hear what you've been avoiding. The doubts, the frustration, the longing. Write them down. Don't run. Watch and fear them. That's the beginning of awakening. That's what Jung called the path to individuation, the sacred process of becoming who you truly are. It's not a motivational quote. It's not a quick fix. It's raw. It's lonely. It's brutal. But it's real. And every man who walks through that darkness comes out reborn. Not as someone new, but as someone true. Now imagine this. You wake up alone, but you don't feel empty. You feel peaceful. You move through your space quietly, aware, grateful. You look in the mirror and realize you respect the man staring back. You're not waiting any longer for anyone to complete you because you've already completed yourself. And that's when women start to notice you, not because you're chasing them, but because your silence carries power. Because true masculine energy doesn't pursue, it attracts. You no longer seek love to escape your loneliness. You seek love to expand your wholeness. That's the paradox Jung understood. When you no longer need a woman, you become capable of truly loving one. Because love that comes from emptiness becomes possession. But love that comes from wholeness becomes freedom. And the truth about men who live alone isn't that they're lonely. It's that they've chosen to know themselves before knowing anyone else. They've faced their demons and walked out alive. They've met their shadow, and instead of killing it, they shook its hand. And in that handshake, something divine was born. Clarity. Clarity about what matters. Clarity about what drains you. Clarity about who you are when the world stops watching. Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. So maybe the man who lives alone isn't cursed. Maybe he simply stopped mistaking his unconscious for fate. He's not broken. He is free. So now the question is quite simple. Are you brave enough to be alone? To sit in the silence and hear your own voice for the first time? To stop begging the world for validation and give it to yourself? Because that, right there, is the initiation into manhood. Not money, not muscles, not women, but the courage to walk through your own loneliness and return with your soul intact. That is the truth Carl Jung wanted every man to understand. You will not become strong by finding comfort. You will become strong by facing yourself. And when you do, you'll awaken, not to the world outside, but to the power that's been waiting inside you all along.